Hello and a big welcome to the channel. I'm the Motorsport Madman and this is practice 3 ahead of the 2022 Singapore Grand Prix. If you are new to this channel, if you are a Formula 1 fan, then please get yourself subscribed because I'm live for every single qualifying and every single race from the Formula 1 World Championship. And this is round 17 and it is absolutely tipping it down in Singapore. We're on full tropical storms settings. I don't know how much running we're going to get in this session at all. I'll be surprised if cars come out of the garage in this session. They're going to be launching into qualifying in about 2 or 3 hours, and it is just going to be absolutely chaotic this afternoon. It is going to be chaotic. Let me turn down this. It's too loud, isn't it? The music full blast, Chris. Yeah, this is, it's raining right now. I am watching it, SHT, believe it or not. Oh man, you're there though, innit? So you're actually there. It's not raining as bad though, but wow. But they cancelled W series, didn't they? I don't know if it was qualifying or the race, but that got red flagged. In fact, I'll listen to what's going on here, because I don't know. Like this session, I reckon this session is going to be pretty much a write-off. All you're going to have is maybe people coming out doing like one lap, but this session. If he really is dead, there's no point in me doing it. We'll have to see how it goes. I might just come back for the quali in it, because this might just be me just trying to bridge an hour of waffling. That's what this might be. So I don't know. I don't think. Put it this way: I don't think there's gonna be many cars on track in the next hour, is there? But he's absolutely tipping it down. Bam, bam, bam. But yeah, welcome in, Chris. SHT, well to the stream. Rain right now. Yeah, first practice session in Singapore. History could be carried out in west conditions. Yeah, it ain't ABBA. Hey, I tell you what, Chris. If there's no cars on track, I might as well whack the ABBA on in a minute. Yeah, sod it. I'm not monetized anyway, so it doesn't matter about any copyright infringement, does it? What are they gonna do? Take all my ad revenue off me, which is 0. Because there's no ads. Yeah, we'll just whack on the tunes in a bit, Chris. If this is just going to be a non-session, because this is a bit mad. This. We'll see. This is a wait and see. This session. I don't know. I bet the guy, Crofty and Martin Brundle and Paul Di Resta, Anthony Davidson and that in the commentary box are thinking, I bet they're thinking, how are we going to bridge this hour? They're going to have to get their full life story scripts out here for this hour, because they're going to have to be on a waffle. I don't know if I fancy it, to be fair. I tell you what though, right? It does make it interesting for qualifying. That is one thing for certain. This qualifying session, forget about any. Look at my shiny face. This qualifying session. Qualifying's up for grabs. This afternoon. Oh, you could look at the rain. $81,000 fans at the circuit in the rain. Oh my god. Yes, Gav's in. Welcome in. Not entered into the track yet, waiting for the rain to stop. Yeah. SHT, have you got like a proper seat, or have you just got like a general admission thing? Have you got like an allocated like sort of grandstand seat or what? Or you just got like a sort of go and stand where you want ticket? This is actually mad though. I've never seen conditions like this in Singapore, to be fair. Yeah, the aquaplaning as well. I mean, we're looking at Verstappen's car there in the garage. The session's supposedly about to get underway in like a minute, and Verstappen's nowhere to be seen. The car's just chilling in the garage. Look at now we cut to Hamilton's Mercedes. It's in, that hasn't even got a nose on it or anything. Oh, we're gonna be chilling this session. This is gonna be cup of tea, songs on, and wait for quali. Morning, Lee. Free car washes, yeah. No one's coming out. No one's got any plans to come out in this session, tell you. But yeah, welcome in, Lee. Action-packed session in Singapore. Oh my god, this might be the weirdest stream that I ever do. Because it's going to be a full hour of nothing. So get in. Now, what's happening is, for anyone tuning in here, thinking, what is he talking about? It is raining in Singapore. It's supposed to be the final practice session now. We're 30 seconds into the final practice session ahead of qualifying. The rain's tipping it down, and nobody fancies coming out. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't think they're going to do much. The marble is winning. Yeah, we have to get the marble game up. Well, that's a Twitch thing though, isn't it, that? Hey, if this was on Twitch, I would fully get the marble game going. Definite. Ted's in the pit lane. I mean, to be fair, the rain's not even that bad. It's just... In fact, let me get the timer on, because the session is underway. But... ain't nobody coming out into this conditions. Let me load up the old... Oh, so it's not actually... Is it pit lane closed, is he saying? Oh, mate, this is it. Weather forecast here. I tell you what, I might just come back for quali here. I mean, I could either... I've got two options. I could either sit here and waffle on to myself for an hour, or just come back for quali. because there's going to be nothing. No one's going to fancy this. The session's meant to be underway, but I don't even know. I'm going to put that timer on just because. Just because. Why not? Do a poll. I don't even think. No, I mean, there's only you going to vote on it anyway, Chris. It's me and you, innit? That's it. I'll give it a few minutes, but it ain't the one. This. Or we just man it out and just go, right, let's bang the tunes on. It's not even raining that bad. Well, no, it is. From some angles you think, oh, it's just a bit of drizzle, and then you see, and then some other angles you think, oh no, it is proper tipping it down. The thing is, the one positive is, right, qualifying is anybody's, because it's Singapore as well. Like, the differences between the cars is lessened because it's a street circuit, and then you're gonna have the lottery of like a wet weather, or at least at the very least it's gonna be damp for qualifying. But if it's like conditions like this, there's gonna be like red flags, yellow flags. Qualifying's gonna be chaos this afternoon with these conditions, and then they're gonna have no preparation. No one's gonna do any practice in the wet, or if they do, they might do. What might happen is a handful of laps at the end of the session is what I reckon. I reckon we're going to get like, see, there's 54 and a half minutes to go now. I reckon when that gets to about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, they'll come out and they'll do a couple of laps, see what it's like, how bad is it, what kind of grip is there, and that'll be it. So it's just whether I bridge a 40-minute gap here on a waffle or not. The thing is, they've got it cushy at Sky, right? Because there's three of them in the commentary box, so they can talk to each other, innit? They're just having a chat. What was your first job, Crofty? He's just said to him, like, they're just having a chat, mate. There's nothing going on. This is the downside of doing practice sessions. It's a struggle at the best of times. But this is just different level, this. I wanna know. Let me have a look here. We'll get your abber on, Chris, if you're still here. Yeah, you said it. Oh, this is the big news, though. To be fair, there is some big news with this budget cap breach that supposedly Red Bull and Aston Martin have overspent. Obviously, these days there's a budget cap, and the punishments are severe. If they found out, if they announce on Wednesday that Red Bull have overspent last season, this season, mate, you can get disqualified from the championship. That's. Let me listen what Christian Horner's going to say here. Because this, to be fair, this is a big this is a big subject in Formula One at the minute. The rumour that Red Bull and Aston Martin have spent more than they're allowed. Just interviewing Christian Horner about it, but this is a very interesting topic. This, because if they found out as a fact that Red Bull have overspent, they're in serious trouble. There is serious repercussions. But the thing is, Christian Horner's playing innocent here, so And the thing is, would a multi-million-dollar company like this, right? Would they risk it? Would you really risk it, knowing that you can just knowing that the repercussions are seriously exclusion from the championship and stuff like that? You wouldn't dare risk it, surely. I mean, I know Formula One teams have been ruthless in the past, anything to win. But really, would you really breach the budget cap? That seems a wild accusation to me. But if it is true, and Red Bull have overspent, oh mate, the fans will absolutely. The thing is, everybody's already outraged about flipping Abu Dhabi last year and all the rest of it. If Red Bull have legitimately if these accusations come out as true and they have overspent and they've in a nutshell they've cheated, mate, they become the pantomime villains. And then the thing is, then it's going to start building up. Well, Verstappen's won 2 illegitimate titles. Then that's what it's going to be. That's the story. It's going to be that Verstappen will be a double world champion, and neither championship will be it'll be legal. It's just absolutely mad. Absolutely mad. We've not seen that kind of controversy since Schumacher in the mid-90s when he punted off Damon Hill for the title. You know what I mean? Major controversy. If it turns out that Red Bull have broken the rules, that they've overspent, they've basically cheated their way to winning. Fucking, that'll be serious. That, I don't know. And then yesterday they said the two different categories of breaching the budget cap. So if you've breached it by less than 5%. So I don't know. Let's say you can only spend 500 million, and you spent 501 million, right? So you breached it, but but less than 5%. I don't exactly know what the figures are, but let's say you're only allowed to spend 500 million a season. I can't remember what it is. I don't know. It's something like 145 million, something like that. The actual figure is something like 145 million, something 155 million. But say you've just breached it by a couple of million. The penalties are still severe, but it's take some points off you, fines, But if you breached it by more than 5%, so if you're only supposed to spend 150 million and you spent 200 million, mate, you're done. But the thing is, would Red Bull seriously breach it by that much? I don't think so. It would be unbelievable for a team in that position to risk that, to overspend on purpose to win, knowing that the repercussions are going to come back. It's all tracked. Everything they spend is declared and all the rest of it. So it's all tracked. Do you think they're going to get away with it? No chance. They know they'd not get. They'd realise, they're smart enough to know they're never going to get away with it forever. So why risk it? You wouldn't. So I'd be very surprised if it came out as true. Their reputation would be tarnished forever. Red Bull Racing Red Bull Racing's reputation would probably be tarnished forever. And then what do you do? What do you do about Verstappen's championship last season, which is already like... It's already a tenuous championship win. Verstappen's 2021 championship is already massively tenuous. And then if you add on top of that they've spent more than they should have, people, there's gonna be massive campaigns. There'll be massive campaigns about stripping Verstappen of last year's title. Yeah, do Spygate with McLaren and Ferrari. This is up there with that. And McLaren got excluded for the championship for that, didn't they? That was, I think, was that 2007? I think. Yeah, that was 2007. Yeah, we've not really seen controversy like this since, like, well, I mean, there was Crashgate 2008 was probably the last big thing, and that was it. This circuit. It seems to have stopped raining now. They're brushing the water away. Someone's got to give it a go and come out on circuit the next few minutes. I think. I'll stay on. I'll stay on. I think the rain's eased off. I think it's just sort of a bit of a drizzle. 3/4 of an hour to go. I reckon the sun will come out. Latifi on full wets. Yeah, Latifi might come out on a full wets and do a lap. You never know. But yeah, this budget cap situation will be the biggest news it will be the biggest controversy in Formula One for a long time. I mean, we did have the situation with Abu Dhabi, but let's say the biggest controversy off track that Formula One's seen for a long time. We've seen on track flipping things with Hamilton Verstappen last season, which was like controversial, but like the real, like, sort of the politics of F1, the off track stuff. This would be the biggest story since Nelson Piquet Jr. put it in the wall here in 2008 because he was told to. Yeah, Red Bull team principal Christian Horner says claims by rivals that they breached F1's budget cap last season are fictitious. So, Christian Horner's playing the full innocent game. As he would, as he should, as he's always going to, whether he's guilty or not. He's always going to play the innocent, but I'd be surprised. I'd be surprised if it comes out that Red Bull have breached it. I think if I would be massively surprised, it comes out that either if Aston Martin have breached it, right? Meh, it wouldn't be life changing. If Aston Martin have breached the budget cap, they'll probably get a massive fine, points deduction, whatever, right? But if Red Bull have breached the budget cap, riots on the street. Well, no, flipping riots on Twitter, I tell you that for a fact. It would be. I don't think it's gonna come out as true, because it just, like I said, it just absolutely wrecked Red Bull's racing's reputation. From that point onwards, if they are deemed as having cheated the way by spending more, because the more money you throw at it, the faster your car's going to be, essentially. So if it comes out that they've cheated, they've spent more than they were allowed to, an already tenuous championship from Verstappen becomes impossible. So the knock-on effect that will have, it's just even better thinking about. FIA statement. The FIA is currently finalising the assessment of the 2021 financial data submitted by all Formula One teams. Alleged breaches of financial regulations, if any, we dealt with with according to the formal process set out in the regulations. The FIA notes significant and unsubstantiated speculation and conjecture in relation to this matter, and reiterates that assessment is ongoing due process will be followed out with all consideration to any external discussion. You see, that external discussion thing is like telling the fans just to keep the nose out, like, let us get on with it. But if it comes out as true, Red Bull immediately become the pantomime villains of Formula 1. If they're not already, they already are the pantomime villains of Formula 1 for a lot of people. Unless you're a big Verstappen fan or flipping, you're a big Perez fan or whatever. But if this comes out that they have breached it, even if they don't take Verstappen's title off him last season, people will mentally take that title off him. He won't have that. Oh, it's just absolutely mad. What we're saying. Also, remember when Pico told us, yeah, I think it'd be the biggest news since then, Gav, since Crashgate, which was at this circuit, flipping 14 years, 14 years ago. It'd be the biggest controversy since then, surely. Off topic, a Royal Mail on strike today. I had no idea. Oh, they are. Oh, are you trying to send me a parcel, are you, Chris, or what? Mick Schumacher was born in Switzerland. I didn't know that. Hero dad. Wow. But yeah, 20 minutes has gone. I can hear an engine being fired up. Oh, get in. Big action here in Singapore. But to be fair, it doesn't look like it's raining anymore. If it's raining, it's very light now at this point. Yeah, you might. Yeah, so Alonso could win the Grand Prix. Yeah, exactly, Gav. It was Singapore as well, yeah. 2008. Yeah, that was heavy. That was that was seriously cheating. That's like flipping. That's as heavy as it gets, that. When someone's crashing on purpose to help the teammate out, bro. But oh right, so the pit lane's actually closed. Right, so it's like, I see. Yeah, so they're removing the standing water from the track and then they can open the pit lane. But the session's still, yeah, the clock's counting down because you can't delay the session because you've got qualifying coming up in a couple of hours, so you can't. And I think there's a regulation where you've got to have at least, I think you've got to have at least 2 hours between practice and qualifying or something like that, or you've got to have at least an hour between the sessions. So you can't delay the final practice session. It's just, it is what it is. But Kevin Magnussen looks like he's getting in the car. 38 minutes to go. 6:30 local time. Oh, okay. Oh, so we could get half a session out of it. We'll get half a session out of it. Yeah, 8 minutes time. 8 minutes time. The pit lane will be open and cars will come out. So we'll get a half an hour session basically. Yeah, so the session's half an hour budget cap talk and half an hour cars on circuit. But yeah. I mean, if I can bridge a practice session with it, nothing happens, then we're chilling. the thing is, if Red Bull have breached it, and then it becomes, what's the punishment? And whatever they do, it won't be enough for the fans. It won't be enough. Unless they get fully eliminated. Imagine that. And could you imagine the flipping, if they took last year's championship off Verstappen? Like rewriting the history books. I can't see this. I think it's too extreme for me. The drama of it would be nuts. Like scribbling him out of the history books and going, nope, that championship was illegal. I don't think that's ever happened before. If it did happen, that's never happened before. Where they go back 12 months later and they go, actually, they cheated. So, Hamilton champion. I mean, there's been some controversial championship deciders. You know, like the Senna and Prost days, like 91 and flipping, what is it, 88, 89. And, you know, Michael Schumacher was involved in a few controversial championships as well. You know, when he tried to, you know, when he punted Damon Hill off at 95 in Adelaide or something, 95 in Adelaide, something like that. There's been a few controversial championship wins, but if it comes out that Red Bull cheated the way to last year's championship, an already controversial championship becomes an absolute joke. They'd have to... I mean, I don't know what the points gap was in the end between Hamilton and Verstappen at the end of the season, last season. But it must have only been like 5 points or something. So if they say like, right, you've breached the budget cap, we're going to take 10 points off. Mind you, they could just do it constructors wise. But then the fans wouldn't be satisfied with that. The fans would want a full delete, which would be heavy. Yeah, Red Bull would be giving the wings in a different way. They would, Chris. They would be... it would be... Which is why it'd be the repercussions of it, not only with what the FIA would do, but the backlash from the fans would make me think that it's not worth it for them to do it. It's not worth it for them to try and wangle that and try and get away with it. It's not worth it. Because the backlash, even if the punishment is only like, I don't know, they take 10 constructors points off them and nothing changes, right? Even if the social backlash from it would be not worth doing, not worth risking. So that's why I struggle to think that it's true. I think it might just be, I think the truth of it might be that Mercedes are trying everything, going down every route to illegitimize Verstappen's championship last season and this championship as well. And this is like another alley that they can go down. Oh, well, you know, Michael Massey broke the rules last season. Oh, that didn't work. Verstappen's still in the championship. Okay, they overspent. It might just be Mercedes clutching at straws, basically, is what I'm saying. It might just be Mercedes clutching at straws, which I think that's how it'll turn out. I think it'll turn out that it was just Mercedes clutching at straws and trying to illegitimise what Red Bull have done over the last couple of years. But if it does come out the other way and Mercedes are right, chaos. Absolute chaos. And yeah, Chris, new item mic set. So get in. I could do with that. I don't think they'd take the title off Max. They win the Constructors of the Season, they get taken, maybe a massive fine. Yeah. Normally they punish the team, not the driver. The thing is, though, they come as one, don't they? You can't separate them. Because this is the thing about Formula One. It's a strange one, right? Because the team and driver are one. So you can't separate the two, right? So if Red Bull have broken the rules, right, then the drivers have to be, the whole outfit has to be punished, right? Now it's not the driver's fault per se. You know, Verstappen and Perez aren't running the accounting books, but you have to punish them as a whole. Why? Because when Verstappen sticks it in the wall, right? Say Verstappen's leading a race and he sticks it in the wall 2 laps from the finish. The points don't still go to the team, do they? And they go, oh well, the driver's made a mistake, but you would have won the race, so we'll give the points to the team anyway. Because they would have won, and the driver just messed it up. No, nobody gets any points. If Verstappen sticks it in the wall with 2 laps to go, he gets a punishment. The whole team, they come as a unit. You can't separate the two, because you start separating the two and going, oh, we just punish the team and not the driver. Then that works the other way. You can't separate them. So unfortunately, the drivers at the end of the day are employees of the team. At the end of the day, you know, they're the superstars and they're on the biggest wages and all that. But at the end of the day, they're employees. And so, but anyway, we've had half an hour of chatting about budget cap, but now I think we're going to get some cars on circuit for the second half of the session. Oh, JJ. Verstappen to win the league. Hey, JJ, Verstappen might win the league, but then they found out that he was using illegal football boots, so all his goals have been eliminated. That might be what's happening in football terms in Formula One. I mean, it's worse than that. It's worse than that. No, it's like finding out that for an entire season, it's like Man City winning the league and then finding out that no one noticed, but they were playing a 12th man the entire season. Yeah, no one noticed. They thought they'd get away with it. And it's like, yeah, Man City winning the league, but then they go back and they look at all the footage of all the old games and they realise that Man City were playing a 12th man for an entire season. And they go, hang on a minute, they were playing 12 men? What, all year? Yeah, all year. Oh my God, right. What do we do? What do? You take the title off a minute. Running a 12th man, you can't do it. This is what Red Bull are in. Red Bull have got accusations of that, basically, if I was to put it in football terms. You know, full cheat mode. So that will be brutal. But here we go then, we've got cars on track. Let me get the live timings up. Okay, the live timing should be on anyway. Yeah, I'm alright, JJ. I've just had to... this practice session is an hour long. And for the first 33 minutes of it, absolutely nothing happened. Because it's been raining in Singapore and the pit lane was closed. So I've just been on a chat about some controversial news that's going on at the minute. But now, with 27 minutes to go, Pierre Gasly's out there on the full wet tyres, on the extreme wets. And we're going to get a 25-minute practice session now where it could get dramatic. And look at the puddles there. Puddles down to turn 8. Oh, this is sketchy, this. There's a big puddle on the outside of the circuit going into turn 9 as well. But yeah, I'm good, JJ. How are you? Well, I'm glad I stuck with it. I'm glad I stuck with it in the end. We're gonna get 25 minutes of something going on at least. But yeah, Pierre Gasly slithering and sliding his way around the track. He's the only one out there. He is the only one brave enough to give it a go. I tell you what, qualifying, even if it doesn't rain again, it'll still be damp for qualifying. I can't see this drying in a couple of hours. Oh, I don't know though, that some sections of the circuit looks drier than others, to be fair. Sonoda's out there as well, I think Sonoda's at turn 3. Gasly's starting a time lap. Yeah, waiting for the football. Oh, it's the big Arsenal game, isn't it? North London derby, isn't it? In an hour or so. You'll be watching, I don't know when Liverpool play, and it Liverpool got Brighton, is it, as well? See, the thing is, with these conditions, it's not so bad having these conditions on a Friday, because if the worst happens and you do put it in the wall, the teams have got a full 24 hours to sort out the car, right? So you can get away with it. You can get away with crashing on a Friday and still having a good weekend. But if you bin it on a Saturday morning, an hour before qualifying, you're in big trouble. You're in big trouble. So whilst they're all going out there now, 24 minutes to go, trying to get a feel for how the track is, the wet circuit, they're on the full wet tyres. On one hand, you've got to give it a go, because you've got to get some experience, because these could be the conditions for qualifying. You know, qualifying could be similar conditions, so you've got to go out there, you've got to try it out. But at the same time, you cannot crash, because the team hasn't got enough time to repair it. I mean, if you just damage a front wing, yeah, that's fine. But if you go and bin it and, you know, knock a front left corner off the car, you can be struggling to get out there. I remember one year in Monaco when Alonso crashed in final practice, couldn't even take part in qualifying. Has to start the Monaco Grand Prix from the back, and then you're done. You might as well call it a day. So they've got to be. You don't want to be in the wall in this session, because qualifying rolls round quick. Yeah, it's not Verstappen per se, JJ. It's just the team. In Formula One, there's a budget cap, so you're only allowed to spend a certain amount of money. Like in football, innit, with the financial fair play. Well, Formula One have got a similar situation where you can only spend a certain amount of money. Obviously, the more money you spend, the better car you can build. So then the better car that you've built is, you know, that's a faster car, and then you've got more chance of winning. You know, if you had unlimited spending, you know, and Mercedes just went out there and spent 500 million to build a car, you know, they could sink everyone. So to get away from that scenario of whoever's got more money wins, there's a budget cap. So you can only spend, I think the figure's something like 145 million a season or something like that. I don't know exactly, 155 million, something like that. So that it kind of makes it a level playing field. Now, there's a couple of teams out there that can't even get to that much spending. But basically, there's a cap. Now, the rumour is, the big controversial rumour is that Red Bull have spent more than what you're allowed to. Hence, being able to just flat out cheating. Now, this is the rumour. You know, so let's say you're only meant to spend 145 million. The rumour is Red Bull have spent more than that to win the championship last year. So then what do you do? What if that comes out as true? Well, then we're getting into the real. Then we're getting into the real stories if it comes out as true. And the statement will come out Wednesday. I think Wednesday they go back all over the data and they have a look and they see, and then. But yeah, if Red Bull have cheated the way to last year's championship, it will be chaos. Yeah, very heavy. Heavy for the team because they're even, no matter what the punishment is, their reputation's in the bin. You know, like social, like for the fans and everything, they'll just be like, "Well, that team cheats." You know, it's like flipping. What do you call it? Like flipping social suicide or something. Like it's just commercial suicide to do that. So that's why I would doubt it'll come out as true. Because they wouldn't risk it. They wouldn't risk the reputation damage of it. Surely not. As we see Daniel Ricciardo on the full wets really struggling. But I think Verstappen's gone out on the intermediate tyres. So he's really going to struggle. We've got less than 20 minutes to go in this final practice session. Quali is at 2 p.m. UK time. So I'll be live at 10 to 2 for qualifying, and that will be an unpredictable session. But yeah, we've got seven cars have set a lap time, so it's Nosley and Garris. No, Norris and Gasly. In fact, I might need to refresh this timing thing. I don't think it's saying it's live, but I don't back it as I don't back that as being the truth. To be fair, we'll refresh the live timings. If you backhanders going on, yeah, oh, definite. But the cat's already out of the bag now, JJ. They've the cat's out of the bag. They can't. There's full investigations going on now behind the scenes. So. But of course, the Red Bull team principal, the Red Bull boss, he's giving it full innocent. He's playing the victim, saying that, you know, Mercedes are trying everything to illegitimize the championship and all the rest of it. We'll see. Right, that should be live now. Yeah, Norris P1. That's it. Now we're live. Gasly on the intermediates. So yeah, so it's Norris, Gasly, Ricciardo, Schumacher, Magnussen, Albon, Tsunoda, Zhou, Bottas, yeah, and Latifi. So 10 drivers have set a lap time. I don't know if it's not the easiest to see the lap times with that background. I do apologise about the background. I might try and change it for qualifying, just to make it easier to see the lap times and stuff. A bit too many lights and colours going on, I think. But yeah, cover up the paper trail, yeah. But supposedly it's a statement on Wednesday where the truth is going to come out. And that'll be massive then. And the thing is as well, which really puts the flipping, to add another dynamic to it, if you overspend for 1 year, that can carry over, because if you make a great chassis, you can carry over that information. It's got a knock-on effect. So you could turn up in Japan next weekend. Verstappen's likely to win the championship next weekend in Japan. So Verstappen is likely to be crowned world champion next Sunday, right? But 4 days prior, in the Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, midweek, the whole thing could be proven to be illegitimate. It's just flipping mad. I don't even know if if Red Bull are guilty of this. Whoever's job it is to decide what punishment they get, I don't envy that position. I do not envy that position. I don't know if you're here, Chris, or any. I'll try and ban him if you're not here, Chris. I'll have to log in. Oh, Latifi's gone off, but I don't think he's hit anything. He's just gone at one of the runoff areas. Yeah, Latifi's got back going again. He did go off circuit, but he's back underway. Yeah, he's got rid of it. Oh, Gav might have been here to do it as well. Oh, you're here. Sound. Cheers, Chris. I can log in and do it on my phone. That's the way. That is the way for me to do it if I was going to do it. So get in. Right, yeah, so you've got Gasly and Verstappen out there. So less than 15 minutes to go now. It's sort of getting dusk. It's sort of going dark in Singapore. Magnussen up to P3, but basically you've got Gasly and Verstappen on the intermediates, and they're a lot quicker than everyone else. Intermediates are tired to be on. Yeah, less than 15 minutes to go. So you've got Verstappen on a 2-minute 3, which sounds slow, but that's the quickest time. And then Pierre Gasly P2. And now a lot of the drivers are out and into, so I would say that those lap times will be plummeting now. Every single lap will be quicker than the previous one now, as the track starts to dry out. Yeah, intermediate weather. Intermediate tyres now. Perez is out there in the inters, setting personal best sector times. Interestingly, Magnussen has gone P3 on the wet tyres, but yeah, everyone setting an intermediate lap time now is going to beat Magnussen and everyone else on the wets. So yeah, it's Verstappen on a 2-minute 3.2. Gasly's 0.2 slower. Perez is half a second off his teammate in third. And then everyone else is lap times is on the wet tyres, so they're going to be irrelevant pretty quickly. It's intermediate time. We're here. I'm glad he stuck with it. I was going to... Leclerc goes P4 then on the intermediates. 1.3 seconds off the pace is Leclerc on the intermediate tyres. And Mick Schumacher's in to change from the full wets to the inters. That's the tyre to be on. Yeah, this thing about the flipping... Right. That's the last time we should ever hear about that now. That flipping... Yesterday on Sky, they were talking about Red Bull being interfered by a... what did I say? What was it? A flipping underground magnetic field or something. Absolute load of rubbish. Christian Horner just saying there, no, it's not the case. The Red Bull is not affected by an underground magnetic pulse. I've never heard of it before, and hopefully we never hear of it again because it's absolute tosh. Yeah, top 7 lap times are now all on the intermediate tyres, albeit Zhou Guan Yu in P7 is 5.8 seconds off the pace. But yeah, 11 minutes to go, and finally some on-track action. EMP, yeah, like I suppose that stands for electromagnetic pulse or something. I don't even know what they were talking about with that. They were talking about that there's like an underground, you know, like a subway railway underneath the circuit, and somehow there's like a magnetic field interruption with the Red Bull. What? I thought it was ridiculous when I heard it yesterday, and then they posed that question to Christian Horner a minute ago, and he was like, "No, that's not the case." He said they thought that they had that issue years ago with David Coulthard. If you're going back to David Coulthard, that at the latest that's 2008. Well, it must have been 2008. So they're referencing something that might have happened 14 years ago. And try to make it relevant. No, it's not a thing. If it was a thing, that'd be pretty mad. Never heard of anything like it. Alright, so it's with less than 10 minutes to go now. The lap times are tumbling now. Lance Stroll goes P6. Lance Stroll's good in mixed conditions. Lance Stroll's had a few standout moments in mixed conditions over the years. Replay Mick Schumacher in the pit lane. It's just a replay of... Wow, what have they done? Oh no, is it loose? They've not put the right rear tyre on Mick Schumacher's car correctly. Oh, you're taking it. Oh, they did wheel him back and then secure it properly. Which, if that's in the... Oh, I don't know. It seems dodgy. No, has he done it? Don't know what's happening with Mick Schumacher's Haas there, but they tried to put the intermediate tyres on, and trying to get that right rear tyre on is not proving an easy task. They're saying it's like maybe cross-threaded, so... Right rear tyre not secure on Mick Schumacher, but Verstappen purple in first and second sector then. 8 minutes to go, and they're starting to push now. Norris goes P5, so it's Leclerc, Verstappen, Sainz, Gasly, Norris, top 5, but Verstappen's going to blast him to smithereens and goes 1.5 seconds quicker than Charles Leclerc. We've got a yellow flag sector 2. Are we going to cut to someone in the wall? No, we're not. Green flag. So it's Verstappen now, breaks under the 2-minute barriers on a... Verstappen sets a 1:59.4. Leclerc's a second and a half slower than that. And P3 of Fernando Alonso is 2.6 seconds behind Max Verstappen. Verstappen in a league of his own at the moment. Ocon goes P10, 2 minutes 4. That's a full 5.5 seconds off the pace. Gasly goes up to third then on a 2-minute 1.3. But Verstappen's just in a different league here with 7 minutes to go in practice. Ahead of potentially a very exciting qualifying session in a couple of hours. Perez goes P3. 1.6 off the pace. And it looks like George Russell is starting a flying lap in the Mercedes. Magnussen goes 10th. And replay on board with Alexander Albon. So he's gone straight on at, I want to say, turn 8. It's hard to tell where that is. At a guess, I'd say Alexander Albon went on straight on at turn 8. Leclerc goes quickest by half a second. Okay. Game on. The track's just improving every single lap. I wonder if the conditions for qualifying are going to be nearly slick. If it doesn't rain again, it might be dried out for qualifying after all this. So Verstappen improves to go within 21 thousandths of a second behind Leclerc. Sainz goes third now, so it's Ferrari, Red Bull, top 4. Gasly fifth. Then you've got Alonso, Norris, Ricciardo, Stroll, Magnussen, Bottas, Zhou, Ocon, Vettel, Albon. Russell hasn't set a lap time on the intermediates yet, as Vettel pops up to P7. 5 minutes to go. Yellow flag, sector 2. Green flag. Maybe just someone went straight on again at turn 8. Green flag again. Gasly improves to a 2-minute 1.2. He stays P5. 2.3 seconds off the pace. Leclerc and Verstappen in a league of their own out front. Leclerc 158.9. Verstappen at virtually identical time. And Sainz is a second and a half off that pace. Perez 2.2 off. I mean, there's only 5 cars within 3 seconds of the quickest time. Magnussen goes P6, but he's 3.1 off the pace. Hamilton's in the final sector then. Less than 5 minutes to go in this final practice session ahead of qualifying, and Hamilton coming around the final couple of corners now. Where can he go? His personal best sector 1 and 2. He's down in last at the moment and only goes P19, so that's obviously not a fully representative lap time because he's a full 8 seconds off the pace. So get in. Mercedes 18th and 19th at the minute in these mixed conditions. Toto Wolff looks on, doesn't look impressed, but I don't think they're fully pushing, surely not. Yuki Tsunoda's sliding all over the place. We're going to see then down to turn 11? And yeah, so Tsunoda's complaining about the Mercedes. Lewis, I wonder if this Mercedes is genuinely struggling for grip. Latifi locks up. Okay, Crofty's saying down turn 7. Yeah, so Latifi locks up and goes straight on at turn 7. Doesn't hit anything. I assume he's managed to pirouette that round and carry on. So it's still Leclerc, Verstappen, Sainz, Alonso, Perez, Gasly, as Stroll goes 7th in the Aston Martin. Pit lane incident involving car 7. What was that? Car 7? That doesn't exist. I missed that. It must have been car 47. I don't know. So Mick Schumacher goes P9 in the Haas, 2.6 seconds off the fastest time at the moment, which is set by Charles Leclerc at 158.9. And we're on board with Leclerc now at turn 18, going under the bridge. Well, under the grandstand, should I say. Comes then into the final couple of corners for Charles Leclerc. Can he improve? We've not got any sector times. He's gone purple middle sector as Charles Leclerc. Purple is fastest of anybody. And does improve. Leclerc takes the bar down to 157.7. Verstappen improving with the closing stages of this final practice session now. Less than 2 minutes to go. Verstappen to cross the line, stays P2, half a second off Leclerc's lap time in the Ferrari. So Leclerc with the benchmark of a 157.7, Verstappen half a second off it with a 58.3, and then Perez a full 1.7 seconds behind that. So Leclerc and Verstappen seem to be in a different league. You've got Perez P3, Sainz P4, Alonso P5, but he's 3 seconds off the pace. Hamilton has popped into P6 now, but he's 3.4 seconds off. Same lap time as Gasly, Magnussen and Stroll. 3.5 seconds off doesn't bode well, does it? Latifi down there last, only the 6.6 seconds off the pace for Nicholas Latifi. I mean, in dry conditions, we're used to seeing the entire field covered by a couple of seconds. 1.5 seconds or something, the entire field, but not today. Well, not this practice session anyway. It's 7 seconds between the field. It's fully night now. The sun's set. Well, there was no sun, but it's yeah, we've fully transitioned over to night time now in Singapore. And these are going to be the final flying laps are going in right now. Leclerc, Verstappen, Perez, Sainz, Alonso, Hamilton, Gasly, Magnussen, Stroll, Mick Schumacher, top 10. It might be fully dry by the time we get to quali. If there's no more rain and it's got 2 hours to dry out, it might be fully dry. By the time you get to quali. As Sainz comes under the grandstand, turn 20. 21. As Daniel Ricciardo goes P6 and Fernando Alonso goes third, 1.6 seconds off the pace. So that's a good lap time. And Sainz beats that and goes third himself. Pushes Alonso down to fourth. Yellow flag sector 3. As someone binned it, not at the end of the session, guys. Ocon goes P6. What's Gasly done? Okay, Vettel goes P7. We cut to Lewis Hamilton over the bridge and round the hairpin. And Leclerc's improved. So Leclerc's half a second quicker than Verstappen now. Green flag, so there's a brief yellow flag there for a couple of seconds, but it's we're going to get a replay on board with Pierre Gasly down to turn 18, just before the no. Yeah, he had a go at turning into turn 17, but braked too late and thought no. Yeah, he bolted it and went down the runoff area. Obviously, was able to just pull a cheeky 180 and then carry on. But it is going to be Leclerc fastest in this massively interrupted session. We only sort of got going with 15 minutes to go. But in the end, it is going to be Charles Leclerc quickest in final practice with a it's just gone off the screen, a 157.7. By half a second over Max Verstappen. Sainz third, Alonso fourth, Perez fifth, Stroll sixth, Ocon seventh, Vettel eighth, Russell ninth, Ricciardo 10th, Magnussen 11th, Hamilton only 12th. 4 seconds off the pace. Replay on board with George Russell down into turn 7. And locks up and has to abort. Luckily, there's a bit of runoff area there. Nice little pirouette and back underway. But yeah, that's about it. I'm glad I stuck with it in the end. we got some action in the last 15 minutes. Everyone sort of scrambled round trying to get a quick lap time in the last 15 minutes. And we'll see if there's any more rain showers. Could be interesting for qualifying. If there isn't any more rain, it might be dry. It might be dry. But watch this space. I'll be back live. In just under 2 hours. I'll be back live at 10 to 2 UK time. Qualifying starts at 2 o'clock. So, cheers. Cheers, guys. Please do drop me a like if you have enjoyed it. I know it wasn't the most exciting session that there's ever been in the history of mankind, but we got through it, didn't we? We had a budget cap talk in the first half, and then everyone was scrambling around trying to set a lap time in the second half of the session. So it was what it was. We got through it, and it does bode for an interesting qualifying session, especially if we get a couple more rain showers between now and then. But cheers, guys. Hopefully it dries up, Flabby. Yeah, I don't know. That was fun in the end, wasn't it, Chris? But join me 10 to 2 for qualifying for the Singapore Grand Prix. See you in a couple of hours, guys. Cheers for bearing with me, and subscribe if you're a Formula 1 fan, and hit that like button on the way out. Cheers, guys.